Welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, rich in history, culture and spectacular scenery. Saudi is home to the world's largest sea of sand, but it's the waters of the Red Sea where history is about to be made. For the next 3 days, Jeddah will host the Neom America's Cup Preliminary Regatta. This is the last chance for the challengers to test themselves against the defender Emirates Team New Zealand, because next year it gets very real. Only one team will win the right to take on the Kiwis. But that's next year. Let's focus on the now. Over the next 3 days, all 6 teams, Emirates Team New Zealand, Ineos Britannia, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, Alinghi Red Bull Racing, the New York Yacht Club's American Magic and Orient Express Racing from France will race the AC40 class fleet in 8 races, and the 2 teams who score the most points will face off in a winner-takes-all match race. American Magic won the first preliminary regatta in Villanova, Spain. Can they make it 2 out of 2? I'm Stephen McIver. Joining me in commentary, Glenn Ashby, Peter Lester and Shirley Robertson.
Only 25 seconds to go to the start here. Going to be really interesting to see who can make it across the line in good shape.
This will challenge time on distance. These conditions, won't it?
Absolutely. Really, really tricky here. Everyone will be trying to get off the line and make sure that they can keep a clean set of goggles.
So all teams, barring American Magic, getting ready to start race 1 of this Neom America's Cup Preliminary Regatta. The countdown is on. You can see the clocking counting down at 1 second, and it looks like it is race on.
This is the umpires, OCS USA restart penalty, OCS Switzerland restart penalty. Switzerland penalty clear.
So as we saw just earlier to that pre-start, American Magic in trouble early in race number 1.
A beautiful start from this boat here. They had 20 minutes of sailing. They're a technical issue this morning.
This is the umpires, penalty USA boundary, penalty USA boundary.
Ineos Britannia doing a really good job in those light conditions to rebuild the speed, exiting that tack, watching the French coming down, foil down. Can they pull off their manoeuvre as well? Really great job on board the French boat.
This is the umpires, USA disqualified, deliberately going way outside the boundary.
That's a huge call by umpire Richard Slater there. That's a big, big, big loss for early on in this regatta.
So currently as they head up to the top mark for the first time, it's Emirates Team New Zealand, GBR, France, Switzerland and Italy. A reminder that American Magic has been disqualified from race number 1 in this first official race of the Neom America's Cup Preliminary Regatta. And there's Emirates Team New Zealand with Ineos Britannia bearing down at speed down behind them as they take what we would see on our screen. We'll call that the right mark, and it will be Emirates Team New Zealand around the top mark for the first time and leading this fleet of 5 in the opening race here on the Red Sea in Jeddah.
Slow build here, your wheel.
Have to go lower.
Up, not lower, would you? Up.
You can hear Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli there talking about the moding of the boat, the setting up of what they're needing to do. They will be sailing through a little bit of dirty, chopped up air there, so very important for them to execute their manoeuvres well and try and sail in clear breeze.
The gap that Emirates Team New Zealand has built on Ineos Britannia has grown to around 260 odd metres as they get ready to jibe and approach the bottom gate for the first time.
French rough foil.
Ineos Britannia running the bottom mark for the first time and chasing Emirates Team New Zealand. Game on again as we head on the upwind leg for the second time.
Right now, Team New Zealand are a little vein of pressure. There's a little bit of a pressure cell on that left-hand side, but how much have Ineos Britannia improved from what we saw in Villanova? They're going nicely in the middle of the track.
Give us a nice fat lay and it'll hurt them. Yeah, just best beam G on this one. Yeah. Happy to match then.
It's fascinating eavesdropping, isn't it? Remember, we've got two helmsmen, one on each side. On the starboard side, Pete Burling, and on port, Nathan Outridge. And we were listening to that discussion. And of course, visibility is really restricted. You can only see on one side of the boat. So really painting the picture for each other and making sure you minimize mistakes and maneuvers.
But around the top mark they go. Emirates Team New Zealand for the second time, with a sizable lead on Ineos Britannia. The remainder of the fleet struggling somewhat, still at the bottom mark.
That's probably going to be 3 jobs.
Most importantly, as Ineos Britannia go around the mark, huge confidence boost. Simple as that, and confidence such a key weapon in any professional sport at the elite level.
Just got these boats come around your bow now.
Yeah, copy. Bit of gas here, Blitz.
Yeah, copy that.
Keep a bit in the bank.
Yep, smart light here.
Emirates Team New Zealand approaching the bottom mark and looking as smooth as silk in this opening race, the official first race of the Neom America's Cup Preliminary Regatta.
Shift is right, it's 10 at the moment.
Pressure looks okay, boundary, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think we just got to follow the Kiwis.
Bryn Ridey's still here, or maybe it's just consistent trend that way.
Yeah, it could be the average is going slightly right.
This is dialing us left.
Glenn, these are the toughest conditions on these boats. I mean, we luckily to have watched them race in all kinds of conditions now, but to me, this just seems the hardest to execute well.
These conditions, you're using every gear in your gearbox. You know, you're really going through the gears really accurately, and it's such a finesse between the steering and the trimming. That balance of each side of the yacht working closely together, super, super critical to get the boats around the track cleanly.
You will need another jibe.
Yeah, no problem. Just be careful of Ineos gas.
Yeah, every single team on the race course talking about gas, which is basically the dirty air that comes off the back of the sails, the sort of pre-used air, if you like. It does get very second-hand as it comes off. It's turbulent. It's invisible. You can't see it, but you've got to know where it is and you can feel it.
Around they go, the top mark for the last time. Emirates Team New Zealand in this opening race. Ineos Britannia completing their penultimate leg. They will head down the downward leg for the final time in race number 1 here in Jeddah.
The diving seems way more stressful than the tacking. I mean, I guess you're going back into your disturbed air.
Yeah, in these conditions, you're just sailing air forward of coming out of your dirty air, so just keeping out the front of it.
Emirates Team New Zealand sharp as a tack today in the opening race of the Neom America's Cup Preliminary Regatta, and they will win race number 1 in style. The defender showing a clean. Who has the America's Cup?
Yeah, I think it takes everyone on the boat to nail their roll to 100% to get through a manoeuvre. Yeah, I think you set this bottom end, the margin's so small that one mistake can cost you minutes. So we're pretty happy to get through this first one unscathed, and hopefully a couple more to come.
The Neom America's Cup Preliminary Regatta is underway. Light winds make for tough conditions, but you wouldn't know it from watching the America's Cup defenders at Emirates Team New Zealand. They dominated race number 1. Can they make it 2 from 2? We'll find out after the break. Welcome back to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Emirates Team New Zealand cruised to victory in race 1. Winning the start and staying on the foils is the name of the game in these light conditions. Let's head back to the water for race number 2. Nerves starting to jangle as we approach race start in race number 2 of this Neom America's Cup Preliminary Regatta. We're inside the last 10 seconds. Will we get a clean start? We're almost there on the countdown. And we are a go for race number 2.
This is the umpires. USA, OCS restart. OCS, USA restart penalties. This is the umpires. Penalty France, get behind Switzerland. Penalty France, get behind Switzerland.
So just listening to umpire Richard Slater there, a couple of penalties going
USA
through.
penalty clear.
A couple of the boats there, USA just getting their penalty clear. They didn't want to repeat getting disqualified like they did in the first race, so they'll be definitely playing by
This
the
is
book.
the umpires. France, you have a penalty. Switzerland get 75 metres behind Switzerland.
So the French team there infringing, having to get behind Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Emirates Team New Zealand really sailing clean there. They're doing a really nice job just keeping the
France, you
boat
still
running
have about
forward.
20 metres.
Umpire Richard Slater just calling a 20-metre dip still to go below the VMG line there of Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They'll wash that off fairly
France,
quickly,
penalty clear.
and away they go.
There's a lot going on, Stephen, isn't there? It's a hectic couple of minutes. But beautiful start by the Kiwis. We have to talk about that. They have been practicing that manoeuvre.
We're happy to go to lay line here. Are we on Alinghi?
But I don't think they'll lay left.
Emirates Team New Zealand, the winner of race 1. They are the first to the top marker. They'll take that left-hand side mark as we see it on the screen, and they will cruise around that. It was interesting to hear Nathan Eldridge say, can we go a bit faster? Can we go a bit faster, please?
They were boundary, but I think there's good enough pressure we can go all the way. I think you're above these.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing now coming in. Much better start to this race for them than it was in race number 1 after they fell off their foils. So they will be the second to round the top mark.
Yeah, look, they were actually closer to the left gate there at the top, but decided to go straight because pulling off that tack, bear away in these conditions, very, very risky. So they've done the right thing there, just carrying on, keeping it smooth, and actually getting around the mark cleanly.
So as we head downwind for the first time, Emirates Team New Zealand, followed by Alinghi Red Bull Racing, Ineos Britannia, Orient Express Racing, American Magic, and Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, the little red caboose at the back.
Yeah, American Magic got a little bit of work to do there ahead of them. They're sailing the boat beautifully, but when you're that far behind this early in the race, it's a tough day from there.
Emirates Team New Zealand around the bottom mark for the first time, leading the fleet again. Everybody else the chaser.
Couple of high-pressure manoeuvres here. Ineos Britannia deciding whether they'll go straight or jibe in front of Alinghi here. Looking like they're deciding to carry on straight there, which is probably the right call, just charging the batteries as they speed up to take the left turn there, Alinghi the right turn.
So almost in sync, both Ineos Britannia and Alinghi Red Bull Racing on opposite tacks go around the bottom marks for the first time, but this is starting to tighten up somewhat. New York American Magic, Orient Express Racing.
Stephen, it's so much harder than when you're match racing. When you're match racing, there's one other boat on the course. There's loads of time to make a decision, but here it's all going on, and actually you're compromised a lot of the time.
And it's not like they stole the Ferrari, they are driving the Ferrari right now, and they know how to put this one through its paces. And Emirates Team New Zealand leading the fleet in race 2 and rounding the top mark in race number 2.
Ineos on the power there, I'm sure they're going to go all the way. Might be worth jumping them if they...
Now, your call, mate.
The one thing that is quite apparent when you look at where the rest of the fleet are, they seem to have really pulled a gap on them.
Yeah, being able to sail the boat in clean air is such a critical thing in these lighter air races. You know, the vortex, sailing with deep, powerful sails, really chops up the air a lot, and that vortex blows down the course for a very big distance. So getting away from that bad air is, again, really, really fueling your engine with clean air.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing coming into the top mark to complete leg number 3, and sitting right behind them at pace 2 is American Magic, and they will want a better race. They will want points, because points matter. Alinghi Red Bull Racing around that left-hand mark as you see it on your screen, followed closely by American Magic. Emirates Team New Zealand, meanwhile, everything going on at the back, are just quietly sailing away at the moment as they go around the bottom mark, head up onto the upwind leg, and just looking around and doing their thing, you might say.
Straight. Lead killer.
Ineos Britannia around the mark they go as well. Ben Ainsley has the goggles up. Now, didn't we say yesterday that was a good sign?
I think it is a good sign with the goggles up. You know, he's had a really frustrating morning. And this is a great performance.
That foil arm almost acting like a big suspension lever with that horizontal going through the water. That one horizontal taking the full weight of the boat. The physics of these boats is pretty special. You know, as the boat leans over, puts its weight on those foils, the righting moment increases, so you've got power. You can use the power then that the rig produces, and the boat's being so efficient aerodynamically and hydrodynamically means that the boat will actually start shooting forward, and away you go.
It's as simple as that, and it's as simple as rounding the top mark for the last time, and that is Emirates Team New Zealand.
The rest of the field will learn a lot. I mean, they will analyse these two races today very, very carefully and have a look at what the New Zealanders have been doing. And I'm sure they will come back and there will be improvements. But, yeah, masterclass so far by the Kiwis.
They are going to start with guns a-blazing because Emirates Team New Zealand are going to go 2 from 2 on day one and get maximum points. That's 20 points.
A lot of homework overnight, a lot of time spent this morning just talking about how to develop a good strategy for these light winds. And, you know, Villanova caught us out a few times too, being off the foil at the gun. So it looks like what we're doing is working, but yeah, still obviously focused on the next one too.
The Kiwis have delivered a masterclass in light winds. They are 2 from 2, a model of consistency in inconsistent conditions. Can they get the three-peat? We'll be back after the break with the third and final race of the day. Welcome back. The oldest and greatest obsession in sport has come to Saudi Arabia. The Kiwis have dominated the first day of racing. That 2 from 2, securing maximum points. But staying on the foils is critical in these light conditions. So let's head to the waters for race number 3. And we're inside now, 15 seconds to the start of race number 3. Who's going to hammer the start and get it right?
I'm going to shape as close as I can.
Clock is counting. Orient Express
This is the
Racing.
umpires, GBR restart penalty, GBR clear, USA restart penalty, Swiss restart penalty.
So 3 teams with restart penalties. Britannia, American Magic, Alingi Red Bull Racing.
Winning that start, the young
Swiss clear.
Marco Gradoni from Luna Rossa. They watch the Kiwis and they learn.
They certainly are quick learners. The young Italian team, beautiful execution getting off the start line there, forcing Emirates Team New Zealand to tack away for clear air. The Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli team, they will have the foot absolutely flat to the floor, booting it as fast as they can to the right-hand side of the course, making sure they're slightly over target speed to execute that first tack and come back across in a commanding lead.
Coming up all the way now.
Yeah, just a tiny little dip there for Emirates Team New Zealand behind the French. Not really much of a loss there at all.
No lower than this.
This is the umpires, USA, you have not started in 3 minutes, your score did not start.
2, 1.
We'll get back to that, but big moment right now for this new helming crew of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. They lead the fleet around in the top mark for the first time. They will be followed around by Emirates Team New Zealand. They'd like to go 3 from 3. Let's go on to the chase boat of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Yeah, Philippe, Glenn here, so important, these manoeuvres in the light air. And just as the team are jibing the boat there, Emirates Team New Zealand charging down the far side of the course. The young guys doing a great job but have a bit of work to do.
They're doing awesome, honestly. We're all very happy of the mood on board and also the communication. I don't know if you can hear what's happening on board. You know, all the decisions are well thought. Sometimes there's mistakes, but at least we're really happy of the process and the way they sail.
Be gentle on the roundup.
Yes, mate. Slaughter. 990 down, cut out. Stand by. 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming up. Bit of gas here. Off 2 boats.
There we go, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. A nudge ahead of Emirates Team New Zealand around the bottom mark. It was interesting to hear them say, just be gentle on the rounding. Just be gentle. And they certainly were, and they still lead slightly from Emirates Team New Zealand. You know their coach, Philippe Press, is very happy, particularly when he said the instructions they were giving each other.
Bit on the slow. Come left here. But the guys are going right behind us.
Yeah, I think quite a good gain there to Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, taking that left turn at the bottom, heading out to the right-hand boundary. They've actually extended their lead now, probably by about 150 metres since going around that gate, so a huge gain to them out to that right-hand side of the course.
A twin helm of Ruggiero Tita and Marco Grodano doing the job at the moment. As we at the halfway point of this third race. 3 races a day, 8 fleet races in total at this Neom America's Cup preliminary regatta. And around the mark the Italians go. Foot to the floor on the downwind leg now. So race 3 pops up some surprises in this fleet race. And now Orient Express Racing. Rounding that left-hand mark at the top of the course. And heading on that downwind leg.
J'ai l'impression qu'au portant, c'est hyper important de ne pas percer. 14, je tombe. 18, 80.
So 2 teams have rounded the bottom markers. Emirates Team New Zealand are in trouble.
That's a big moment for Emirates Team New Zealand. And then I look back up the course and Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli just sailing beautifully. And it just shows you how powerful winning the start is.
And here come Ineos Britannia.
You can see the work that the trimmers are doing there on the sails, the depth that they're really putting into these little efficient rigs, really bending the air as much as they can to get absolutely every bit of power they can. They're really struggling to kick it down to the gate.
Way past ley line.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can to stay on the foils here, even disregarding going through the gate just to keep the boat on the foils. It's all about keeping the boat on the foil.
My wheel. Rescue here, 2, 1.
15s.
Alinghi have managed to stay up, but Ben and Giles and the boys, their only option was to tack around.
Copy. Set my 2 board up.
Yeah, clear.
I've got power.
Come on. 2, canting.
This is make or break for Ineos Britannia here.
So it's Alinghi Red Bull Racing that go around the mark, the bottom mark in 3rd position and touchdown. Oh my, here we go again. And over just behind them you can see Ineos Britannia just squeezing themselves out.
Just coming off the foil there, Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
Meanwhile, we go to the top of the course, and guess who's cruising along nicely? Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli.
It is under 7 knots of wind, and we are seeing Luna Rossa do 30. Just take a moment, ladies and gentlemen, to think about that. That is extraordinary.
This is on, coming down and jibing. Coming down. 3, 2, 1, board down.
Philippe Presti, their coach, will be holding his breath on this final jibe.
And board coming up.
They're okay.
We're okay.
Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli.
Everybody held their breath, but there you have it. Win number 1 in Jeddah for Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli.
Yeah, thank you. It was a difficult race. It was really light, but I think we all managed to do good foiling, light breeze, and I'm happy. I'm happy because we did a good race, and we are able to do it. So let's keep like this. It's only the beginning.
So there you have it. Day 1 is done. And if we look at the leaderboard, Emirates Team New Zealand are in top spot with 22 points, ahead of Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, Alinghi Red Bull Racing, Ineos Britannia and Orient Express Racing. American Magic, they've had a shocker. They finished the day with just 1 point. But tomorrow is another day, and our all-star cast of sailors will be back on the water for round 2 of the Neom America's Cup Preliminary Regatta.